When a video comes out with Ronaldo and the President of the United States and the President of FIFA, it's cold, and Ronaldo has aura, power, and influence. If this was Messi, they would claim it's rigged. A week ago, Ronaldo fans were creating AI pictures of Messi meeting with Gianni Infantino, only for Ronaldo to meet up with him in real life. This is the hypocrisy of this fan base. They have to rely on hypothetical situations and made up scenarios to push their point. But when the real thing actually happens, they just bury their head in the sand. Their idol just did, in the real world, what they pretended Messi did behind the scenes. Because they were creating those images as a way of pushing their stupid narrative that the 2022 World Cup was rigged. Well, if Ronaldo and Portugal win the 2026 World Cup, can we say it's rigged for him? Since he's literally meeting with the president of the country where the World Cup is hosted?
Early this morning.
CR7 was finally allowed back in the United States. He just had to wait until there was someone in the White House who was facing the same allegations he did.
And I will tell them something that we had something in common, something that we share.
We do not care.
Now, before you guys come weeping about the fact that Trump was in power from 2016 to 2020, his second term has been different. I don't want to bore you guys with US politics, but he has way more power. Plus, the World Cup is in the United States. Plus, Ronaldo, now having been in Saudi Arabia, is very much like a proxy representative for the country. If he's speaking to Trump, the PR of Saudi Arabia goes up, and their relationship seems better on the national stage. Even though Ronaldo is not technically from Saudi Arabia, he's not a citizen, because he's the face of their league, he's like a representative. Essentially like an ambassador. That's probably why they waited for this opportunity, and they really wanted to publicize it. Now, the funny part is that Ronaldo has been in a lot of side quests recently. Obviously, it all started with that 1-hour podcast he did with Piers Morgan.
I'm look good?
You're looking very good. They're pretty, are they like, do you mind if I just... Yeah,
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing, you get me?
Another example that podcast mics need to be taxed. There needs to be a tariff on these. That's what Trump should be focusing on. There should be a tariff on podcast equipment. Anyways, I have a separate video outlining all the ridiculous things he said in that podcast, but a lot of his fans want to claim that that podcast is actually one of the biggest reasons why he was invited to the White House. Now, of course, I'm going to show you guys why this is the biggest piece of hypocrisy coming from Ronaldo fans. Because here's the thing. A lot of them wanted to cope and try and defend Ronaldo by saying that the stuff he said was taken out of context and that he isn't helped by the fact that English is his second language. Now, that's true. Ronaldo is not a native English speaker, but he's a very smart guy. Even though English is his second language, he's very selective with the words he chooses and what he wants to say. So I don't believe the narrative that he was misinterpreted or something that he wanted to say was mistranslated. This guy knows what he's doing. And if we agree with Ronaldo fans that the podcast is the reason he was invited to the White House because of the fact that he mentioned Trump and he talked about him in a positive light, then that argument goes out the window.
I wish one day to meet him, to sit with him, because he's really he's one of the person that I really like him, because I think it can make things happen, and I like people like that.
How could he misspeak as somebody with English as a second language, yet at the same time be intelligent enough to make up the right points so that he gets invited to stuff like the gala at the White House?
Stop it. Get some help.
You can't have it both ways. He can't be both somebody that plays 5D chess and somebody who's just being misheard because English is not his native language. Then after the podcast, he got sent off in a qualifier game against Ireland. Now that was the funniest one to me, because tell me why Cristiano Ronaldo, as the captain of Portugal, someone who's 40 years old, he might be 41 actually, a man who has seen everything in football, how is he still getting rage baited at this stage in his career? Especially in a pretty irrelevant game. Portugal were pretty much already qualified. And didn't Ronaldo say the World Cup is just a 7-game tournament? So who cares about a qualifier match?
If you ask me, Cristiano, is a dream to win the World Cup? No, it's not a dream.
Wait a minute.
But World Cup, it's a dream.
This shit, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
Yet he ends up UFC elbowing O'Shea and getting sent off. Now the moment gave us a generational gif. It's the Irish fans booing him and then mocking him with his own crying gesture. Yes, they were doing the crying gesture because that's what Ronaldo did to O'Shea, because he was very confident that he was just going to get away with a booking. Then the incident went to VAR, and of course he got a red because, he tried to kill the guy like it was UFC. Now keep in mind, the incident becomes that much funnier when you realize that in the pre-match interview, Ronaldo had said that he was going to be a good boy in front of the Irish fans.
I hope they don't boo too much to me tomorrow. I swear that I'm gonna try to be a good boy.
Stop the cap.
That's just not your thing, CR7. Play the villain role. That's your best gimmick. Now, Ronaldo was probably mad because he could do this all the time in the Saudi League and nobody gave him anything.
His name is John C.
No card, no foul, he can just do whatever he wants. And one thing I've noticed with CR7 is as he has aged, his crash outs have become worse. I feel like he's had more fights and more incidents in the past 3 to 4 years than he did in the first 10 to 15 years of his career. Off the top of my head, when he was at Real Madrid, I remember him trying to elbow someone in his first season and getting a red card, and some crash outs here and there in El Clasico, but that always got heated. But other than that, I don't really remember a ton of incidents where he would get a red card or would get into a ton of fights. In fact, statistically, that's true. The red card he got in the game against Ireland was his very first red card with the Portuguese national team. I feel like as he has gotten older, his rage has gotten worse. And that's probably because of the fact that his winning mentality doesn't match his footballing ability anymore. You see, when he was younger, if he got pissed in a match, he would just go and score a hat-trick. He would just dunk on the other team like what he did against Atletico Madrid time and time again. But as he has gotten older, if he gets mad, he just doesn't have the ability to go and score 3 or 4 goals anymore. So I feel like that's why he crashes out. Because what happened in the qualifier against Ireland wasn't the first time. He threw the exact same elbow when he was playing for Al Nassr. In fact, his teammates had to hold him back from attacking the referee. And then if you go back to his last few seasons at Manchester United, he tried to kick Curtis Jones on the ground in a fight against Liverpool. Like I'm telling you, in the past few years, he's gone really pissed on the pitch. So much for the narrative that he's a mentality monster. My favorite thing though was seeing how the Ronaldo fans found a new way to cope with their idol doing something wrong again. There were people on Twitter bringing up old Messi clips, saying why didn't Messi get sent off for this elbow, and looking for other incidents to draw parallels. Ronaldo's boyfriend Piers Morgan even came to his defense, although once again on my Twitter I exposed Piers Morgan. I mean, the guy is a genius, to be honest, because he could easily go and delete these old tweets, delete the fact that he was publicly a Messi guy, but he just leaves it up because he doesn't care. He's all about the bag, and now he's completely shifted his position to be closer to Cristiano Ronaldo. I honestly respect him. There's no one better at rage baiting than Piers Morgan. Now, the reason that I talk about Twitter, we all know it's a cesspool, but a lot of people are on Twitter. A lot of people follow the narratives. I mean, Lamine Yamal changed his profile pic to something that Rashad posted. And if you guys don't know who Rashad is, he's a very famous Barcelona journalist slash reporter. So a lot of these guys, they've got burners. They've got one ear on the ground with the rest of us casuals. So when Ronaldo fans try and push these narratives, people who don't have good comprehension skills, people who have rocks for brains, buy these narratives. I mean, look at this tweet. This guy was trying to claim that Ronaldo was fighting against a system when he was sent off for a UFC elbow. This is a real person trying to compare a dude who was rightfully sent off to real social activists. Huh? I mean, imagine comparing a guy who kicks a ball to Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela. Now, I know some of these guys like to rage bait to get their pennies on the dollar from Elon Musk. They get the blue check mark and they try their best to get as measly amount of money as possible just so their light bill doesn't go out. But how do you even come up with this stuff? Like, it's one thing to rage bait, like, say that Messi's World Cup was only pens. Like, that's funny, it will get a reaction, I understand where it's coming from. But how do you start to compare Cristiano Ronaldo with social activists over a rightful red card? These guys are thinking on another level, I guess. But yeah, the reason that I talk about it is a lot of media companies and people buy the narratives pushed on social media now. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality. Journalists, broadcasting companies, they all listen to what the people are talking about. And then they take whatever is the popular narrative and they push the same thing. We all have to come together and fight against this dumbassery together. Now, Ronaldo got sent off in that game, and then Portugal lost that game, and thanks to that win and another one, Ireland made it to the World Cup. Now, as I told you guys though, the game was meaningless because the next game, without Ronaldo up front, without Homelander, Portugal beat Armenia 9-1. And honestly, I mean, people are going to say I'm hating as usual, but anybody who watched that game would see that Portugal played a lot more fluid without Ronaldo. Now again, before people start weeping, that doesn't mean that they're a better team without Ronaldo, because we saw that Ronaldo did help them in the Nations League. But I don't want to hear any excuses in this World Cup that he doesn't have help. This is a super team. I mean, the midfield trio of João Neves, Vitinha, and Bruno Fernandes, which country has a better midfield trio? These guys are amazing, and finally, their good club form is coming to the international level. Like, João Neves is incredible. I don't know how this guy was only 19th on the Ballon d'Or list if Vitinha is third. So these guys are just going to run the show after they dominated for PSG. Then Portugal has the best left back in the world in Nuno Mendes. They've got Rafael Leao, they've got Conceição, they've got Gonçalo Ramos, they've got Bernardo Silva, Ruben Dias in the back, a good goalie. So I'm not saying they're better without Ronaldo. All I'm saying is that if they don't go far or if they don't win the World Cup, I don't want to hear Ronaldo fans saying that he didn't have help again. This isn't in the 2010 World Cup. These guys are very good and in fact have looked very good on multiple occasions when Ronaldo hasn't been on the pitch. And now not only does Ronaldo have help on the pitch, but he's also getting a ton of help off of it, meeting with the president of the country that's hosting the World Cup. Like I said, Ronaldo fans like to claim that when he's sitting with Elon Musk and Infantino and Donald Trump, that means he has power and influence. But if this was Messi, it would be more proof that the World Cup is rigged for him. Unfortunately for Ronaldo fans, that's where the discourse is now between these two guys. Messi finished the conversation on the football pitch. So now Ronaldo fans can only flex intangible stuff off the pitch. Stuff like aesthetic, aura. I mean, we already knew that most Ronaldo fans don't actually like him for his footballing ability. They're just sexually aroused by him.
Oh, step over.
I'm gonna come.
But tweets like this just further prove it. There is nothing on the pitch to flex anymore. Maybe the 1,000 goal mark. And then I love seeing Ronaldo fans trying to flex the fact that Trump endorsed him. Trump endorsing your GOAT is not the flex you think it is. And I tweeted this out and I got a lot of traction. Now, some idiots in the comments think that I was making a political statement. My tweet had nothing to do with Trump, Republicans, and MAGA. The reason that Trump's endorsement means nothing is this is a guy who has historically shown he will say whatever is needed to be said at the time to get whatever he wants. You guys want proof of that? Well, he called Ronaldo the GOAT when he came for the meeting. Well, technically the White House did it, but he also talked about it. But here's him in an interview with DAZN at the Club World Cup saying who his actual GOAT is.
I want to ask you, who is your GOAT, your greatest of all time?
Many years ago, when I was young, they brought a player named Pelé. I don't want to date myself, but that was a long time ago. I was a young guy. And I came to watch Pelé, and he was fantastic. And I would say Pelé was so great.
So he thinks Pele's the GOAT. But now that Ronaldo is there and they want to push this narrative, he starts praising Ronaldo. The same way if Messi was invited to the White House and accepted, he would have called Messi the GOAT. That's just how this guy is. His opinions and moods change with the tide. But I think what's funnier is there's actually a clip of him where he called Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Christian or something. I'll play you the clip.
So will Christian ever run for president against you?
This is just proof that he's not even fully aware of who Ronaldo is. He's just saying what people want to hear. But now the list continues growing. People who think Messi is the GOAT are former players, current players, the greatest managers of all time, some of the greatest players of all time. Some of Ronaldo's own teammates say that Messi's the GOAT. Meanwhile, people who think Ronaldo is the GOAT, Piers Morgan, Speed, and now you can add Donald Trump for the time being. Maybe these guys were actually meant for each other. Both have a cult-like following that supports them no matter what they do. I mean, Ronaldo can come out on a podcast, take his cock out, and they would still support him. Both of these guys, I'm talking about Trump and Ronaldo, are incredible at gaslighting. And both of them were going through the same legal issues. Now, keep in mind, I do understand that it's very impressive for Ronaldo to make it to the White House. No matter what you think of US politics, you can make the argument that somebody who was sweeping the streets in Madeira, meeting the President of the United States, is a pretty incredible journey. To be invited to a gala filled with some of the richest and most influential people as a footballer is impressive, no matter how you feel about Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I said, the only reason that I found it funny is the hypocrisy. If Messi was seen at these same events, the narrative would be very different. And I'm pretty sure Messi was invited. Reportedly, Joe Biden had invited him and he basically didn't care. And he's not the first person. Look at how Diego Maradona spoke about the US inviting him to collect an award.
Los americanos me daban un premio y me daban un premio en Cuba. Dije, americanos, quédense con el premio, yo me voy a recibirlo a Cuba.
I just want to see what fans are going to say if Portugal wins the World Cup. Are they going to keep the same energy? Are they going to agree that the World Cup is rigged? Only time will tell. But one thing I don't like is everybody framing this as a last dance for both Messi and Ronaldo. Messi already won the World Cup. Yes, this is technically his last one, but that's not what the last dance is. He's already won it, and it did so much for his legacy. To see how Messi went from someone who was hated by Argentinians to a national icon, you have to check out this video right here.